Join us as we discuss Street Fighter 4 in the next episode of the Time Hop Podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Time Hop Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Lozada. I'm joined with Tim Ronan.
Hello, everyone.
In case you don't know, the Time Hop Podcast is a podcast that plays games of the past to let you know they're worth playing today. Today's topic is all about Street Fighter 4, celebrating its 10th anniversary, believe it or not. Original release, February 12th, 2009. Before we jump into Street Fighter 4, Tim, I want to ask you, did you see the Frozen 2 trailer?
You know what? I did. I was watching something else, and I saw that on the side. I was like, oh, that's like, I don't know, whatever, like a fan thing or something. I was like, wait, oh no, that's like legit. So yeah, I watched it. It's like, okay.
What do you
That's
think
a
of
thing.
it? What did you think of Frozen 2's trailer?
I mean, I'll probably wind up watching it.
You know
But
what?
now
Me
I
too.
I just wonder. Part of me was maybe like, oh no, because like now, I mean, as if like the whole Frozen thing ever died down. Now, like, there's going to be a resurgence of like, the whole Let It Go
Mhm.
and the
Little girls
all
running
that.
around all over the place, Elsa and Anna and whatever, and Olaf,
hmm
all that nonsense. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, don't really know anything about it. Like the I guess it's fall now. I don't really understand
Yeah,
that
yeah,
aspect.
I
But
guess I don't know, but I'll definitely see it at some
yeah,
point.
yeah,
So
me too. I mean, as much as I am telling myself, at least like, uh, you know, on the like in my mind, I'm telling myself, no, I probably won't see it. No, no, no. And then, but in reality, I probably will. So yeah, I'm gonna gear myself up for that one. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of didn't even know that Frozen 2 was a thing. I didn't really.
I feel like I heard it. I don't know. I mean, they talk about a lot of different movies and sequels. Maybe I was thinking of something else, but I feel like they might mention this at some point.
Yeah, I don't. It feels like it's. I feel like you're right. I feel like I do actually know about it, but like it happened so long ago that I don't. When did Frozen come out? Even like 2014 or
Like,
something.
I think 2013,
Wow,
like 5, 6 years ago or something.
that's a long time ago.
It feels like it was. I mean, I guess that was a pretty long time. I guess it felt like it was longer than that, but I guess that's
Wow,
pretty long as is.
interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, looking forward to see what Disney Animation does with Frozen 2.
Are you
Um.
gonna see Toy Story 4?
Oh hell yeah. I'm really skeptical about Toy Story 4 though. No
I
lie.
thought they were gonna do like three more, but no, I guess this is, well, they said the third one would be the last one. Now it's not gonna be the last one. Now they're saying the fourth one will be the last one. So who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows?
I'm like super skeptical. I don't know, man. Like I don't like what I've seen so far of it. Like these misfit things. I don't even know if they're I guess they're toys from like the carnival or something. I don't know. I I don't know.
hmm
I,
It was probably fine where it ended.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Toy Story 3 just ended perfectly. So why, like they could have just made a sequel to, I don't know. What's another Pixar movie that needs a sequel? I don't know.
Uh, Good Dinosaur? Question mark?
I suppose. Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't know. Or maybe like Up. No, not Up. Up was perfect. I don't know.
Up to. upper.
That's very cool. Very looking forward to seeing what Disney does next with Frozen and all their other properties, and I'm sure little girls will love it. All right, so let's jump into news of the week. Before we jump into the past, let's take a look at the present. Tim, what's your news story for the week?
Well, I guess it's been rumored for, I think, a good number of months that Blizzard was going to be laying off some people, Activision Blizzard, and now they've finally done that. They've cut, I think it was 8% of their workforce, which comprises of, I think, roughly 770 jobs.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I didn't even really realize not only did they have that many, but that's only 8% of their workforce, which I never really knew, which is crazy. And what is interesting, well, I mean, that's, obviously it's really pretty bad, but what makes it kind of weird, or like a paradox or whatever, is that Activision Blizzard reported record sales this year. So It's interesting. There's that juxtaposition of, oh, well, we made record sales, but we gotta fire y'all. Sorry. And then, like, I guess the CFO is getting like a $15 million deal for, I think he just signed on to be the CFO, so he's like getting this chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
So people aren't happy about that.
Yeah, it's understandable. I mean, like, part of me is like, in the entertainment industry, I think these things are they're actually more common than one might think. But at the same time, these are actually people that we're talking about, so it is always unfortunate, when we hear of these things. I'm hoping that these developers I'm assuming they're developers. I'm not really sure who exactly was laid off, but I'm assuming they're software engineers or what have you. I'm hoping that maybe they can find a home in another studio somewhere.
You would think. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, if they have a portfolio and stuff, and that's feel like coming from. I mean, Blizzard isn't perfect, but I feel like there's a certain pedigree, I guess.
Right. I mean,
working in that kind of environment.
Activision too, in the sense of Call of Duty. What else does Activision have under its belt? I don't even know. What else does Activision have? Activision Blizzard.
Well, I mean, Blizzard is obviously Overwatch and WoW.
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
And Diablo.
Right.
Activision has all these dormant franchises that it'll never use, so there's that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is unfortunate to hear the news, but I mean, I hope that these developers they move on, and maybe they could establish their own independent studios, or like I said before, latch on to other teams. I know Sony, they're making their own team, right? So yeah, I'm just hoping for the best for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Lindsay is here, by the way.
Lindsay's here! Yeah! Woo! Hello, Lindsay. How are you?
Hey, I'm good.
We were just talking about people getting laid off, not the cheeriest of subjects. Do you have a news story to uplift our souls?
I'm such a Nintendo person. I'm doing the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, me too. What are you talking about, Nintendo Direct?
So I'm hype about several things from the Direct. Astral Chain looks sick.
I did not see that trailer. I want to.
It reminds me of Xenoblade. Xenoblade, like the universe looks like Xenoblade. Also,
Cool.
kind of reminds me of something like that, like Bayonetta.
Well, it's by
But it
Platinum, right?
looks,
It's
yeah,
from
it's
Platinum.
by
Yeah.
Platinum.
Nice.
It looks
Nice.
so sick, and I think you're in Tokyo for it, or you may be in Shibuya, one of those two cities.
Shibuya is
Because,
in Tokyo. So,
oh yeah, well,
yeah.
specifically Shibuya,
Gotcha.
which, uh, yeah, like, so I was thinking about that. Let me see,
Yeah, just like a lot of
Tetris
news.
99.
Yeah, what is that about? Was that like a what?
It's a Tetris Battle Royale.
Did I read that right? I didn't want to sound stupid. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I was like, okay, I'm delirious. Let me not.
Like, I gotta be honest, I'm hyped for it.
So, like, how does it work? How many people are on it? I don't
It's
understand.
99 people playing Tetris
Playing
at once.
Tetris. That sounds terrible.
What
Potentially.
the fuck?
You're all sending garbage to one another while you're playing the game. You're sending garbage, and then whoever performs the best, they're number one. And that sounds incredible, to be honest.
Wow. That's really like unique, you know? Like
Yeah.
I never would have thought that Tetris. Hey, I'm kind of looking forward to it too. That's pretty cool. When you explain it to me like that, it's not something I'd ever win at for sure, but cool.
Because like to win at Tetris, that is Tetris 99. That's a whole other level of battle royale, because then you're literally outperforming 98 other people. It's not like Fortnite where you could just camp out somewhere.
Yeah. No, yeah, like that's really like skill. Like that's like intelligence, you know? That's really cool. What I was gonna talk about from Nintendo Direct was the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh my god.
That looks dope. That looks dope. Oh my god. That looks dope. That looks so cool. It reminds me
Like,
of
Sounds cool.
as soon as I saw that, I was like, yo, everybody's gonna be so hyped for this.
it's really hype, dude. Like it's just they got the chain chomps in there and everything, dude. Like
Oh,
it's so
shit.
cool, and like the music is like, oh my
Yes,
god.
yeah, that's gonna be nice to hear.
Yeah, my friend was like, when does a remake ever include enemies from another game? I'm like, holy shit.
That's awesome, dude. Like it's so. It reminds me of another one of my favorite Zelda games, A Link Between Worlds, and it's just like it has like the same kind of aesthetic, like the same 3D, 2D isometric 3D kind of aesthetic, but it's like a whole nother level. Like the shading is just so it's so cool. Like the environments are dynamic. Like the water just like it's so cool, dude. Oh man, I'm so looking forward to that. And it comes out this year. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. Like, man.
The things
Like,
that
every time there's an announcement across gaming, I'm like, man, I love the world that we live in, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So the things
Like, this is fucking amazing.
the things that the leaker said were gonna be in the direct, a lot of them came true. Like Mario Maker 2, the Box Boy thing, I don't know, whatever that was. The Link's Awakening remake, he got those 3 right. Then he was gonna say something about Pokemon news, but that didn't happen, which is interesting.
There was Pokemon, Let's Go Pokemon demo. That's about it for news.
No, they were gonna be like some kind of reveal of Pokemon, like the new Pokemon games that are supposed to come out this year. You know how like they did Smash last year?
Something, yeah. I don't know.
And then the other thing was Metroid Prime Trilogy on Switch, and that
Yeah,
wasn't
I
there.
read about that.
And I'm a little disappointed, but that's okay because Link's Awakening is That's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna complain that we got Link's Awakening. So,
I'm looking at it. It looks so good.
does it not look awesome? It looks really good. It's just,
Oh my god.
I can't imagine like the. I don't want to say more. I don't want to jinx it.
Well, Link's design is pretty cute.
It's
Yeah.
really cute. Yeah.
Like once I saw the old Link design on there, the 2D cartoon, like I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, I know. I know. It's a really big, like, it's like a big throwback. It's just, it's great.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to that. Looks like another awesome year for Switch, which is,
Yeah.
I did not think that they could top
And there's
2018.
like Goombas and the Chain Shop, which is so
I didn't see the
strange.
Goombas. Are there Goombas, really?
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, before
shit.
they were like, it's like kind of a Goomba, but now it's just like, no, those are Goombas. Those are just straight up Goombas
Holy shit.
in this version.
Like that's crazy. Like
Oh,
Mario enemies in Zelda. Like
that's awesome, dude. Oh, man.
wow.
I love it.
Oh,
Love it. It's going to be great.
fucking insane. Like I never thought that Nintendo was gonna do something like that.
No, I mean, I kind of expected them to, like, after I saw Ocarina of Time remake and then Majora's Mask remake, I was like, okay, I could see where they're getting at. I could see a Link's Awakening remake happening, maybe on 3DS, but then they didn't do it. So I was like, okay, and I gave up on the remakes. But then they come out of nowhere with this, and I'm like, okay, this is great.
Wait.
Like,
Was this the game where you stole from the shopkeeper and he blasted you with lightning?
uh,
I think it was.
I think it is, yeah. Yeah, I
Like
think so.
personally, I don't know because I haven't played through it.
I think so.
Well, there's a shopkeeper, and if you can pick up an item and then take it in to pay, or you can like kind of dupe him and like make circles around him, because like wherever you walk, he faces you, so you can like walk behind him, and if he's looking behind him at the wall, and then you walk out, you can steal the item, but like if he's looking towards the door when you try to leave, he'll be like, hey, you have to pay for that. But if he's not doing that, you can steal it. But if you come back to the store after you do that, he's like, hey, you didn't pay, and then he kills you.
Oh wow.
Oh, I think you're right because in A Link Between Worlds they have the shopkeeper there too, so it must be Link's Awakening because that's the only other game that uses shopkeepers. Yeah, it must be. I think you're right. Yeah. Oh man. I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to getting killed for stealing stuff.
In HD.
In
In
HD, on the go and at home. Woo! All right, let's move on to the topic of the show. This week is all about Street Fighter 4, which, believe it or not, is celebrating its 10th anniversary. Jesus Christ, I am old. It originally released on February 12th, 2009 in Japan for PlayStation 3 and I believe Xbox 360. I think also PC. I'm not too sure about PC. Of course, developed by Capcom. It's the first Street Fighter, believe it or not, since Street Fighter in 11 years. It had the series had a hiatus. Took a hiatus since Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 3 released in 1997. So originally when this game kind of released, it wasn't as a console game. It was on Japanese arcades, kind of like let me think of like Pokken Tournament, if you guys know that one, or what is it, Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. That was another one. It's kind of like a Japanese tradition that they have there. They kind of release it in arcades first, and then they release it on consoles. Makes sense, you know. Since its release on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, the game has been kind of improved upon, enhanced. There's Super Street Fighter 4, which I believe came out the year after, in April 2010. Then there was Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, I think. Then there was Super Street Fighter 4 3D Edition. Then there was Ultra Street Fighter 4. I'm not making this shit up. And then I think there was a Street Fighter 4 for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. But there's a reason why it got kind of reproduced so often. Is because many consider it as one of the best fighting games of like the modern era since 2009 on. I think some fighting game communities actually play Street Fighter 4 as opposed over Street Fighter 5. So it's a testament to just the mechanics of the game. I know I personally am not a huge fighting game fan. I've really only played BlazBlue and Smash. I know, Tim, you're in the same kind of boat. Lindsay, what do you think of Street Fighter 4? Let's start off with the presentation. What do you think of Street Fighter 4's presentation, Lindsay?
I mean, it's a pretty ass game. I might have played it. I don't remember. Like in random social gatherings, like Street Fighter. I know a few times was being played, but I'm not sure if it was Street Fighter 4 or not. But yeah, it's like a really aggressive game, like not in a bad way, like in a good way that like even if you're just playing it, watching it, kind of like packs a punch, because it feels so, I guess, realistic. Like it brings you into the game from from the voice acting and the sound effects with punching and kicking. Like it's just so aggressive, I guess, in that way. And I like it for that. Like I said, it's really it's really attractive for
I'll tell you one thing, some of the characters are really attractive. But let me not get in that. Let me not get in that one. But it's no. Huh? Oh hell yeah. Making me sweat just thinking about it.
Oh my God.
Zangief, more like Zan beef cake.
You know what I'm talking about? Hell yeah. Yeah, no, like I like kind of like the chunkiness of the characters. Does that make sense? Like they're really chunky, and
Sure.
Well, that's quite rude.
No, but I mean in a good way. Like they're like healthy and like they're colorful, and you could like they're in the fighting spirit.
Chunky and healthy don't generally go together, but okay.
Well, like what about like chunky noodle soup? You know what I'm saying? Like that's good stuff, and it reminds me of that. I feel like this game could easily be on a Campbell's soup can.
Oh my God.
What?
I was about to make the joke.
It's very chunky, Like they're very chunky characters. It all just blends in together,
I see.
Yeah, I mean I'm making a good point here, and it's very pretty. It's a very colorful game. I think Rio's pretty hot, and a lot of other characters are pretty hot too. Like the Chun-Li and the other people.
And that's the most important part.
Yeah, the hotness.
Otherwise, the game has no worth beyond that.
Of course not. No way. Tim, what do you think of the presentation of the game before I make more of a fool of myself?
Well, it is very colorful, and there's a ton of like different places you can go and locales, and that's cool. But I also noticed sort of a smaller detail is that like sometimes when you fight, the sort of environment behind you can be affected. So like in one of the stages, there's like this kind of food cart mart area, and when you're fighting, the food cart that's closest to you, like in the background, can like if you get knocked up in the air and like hit the ground, then it kind of like jumps a little bit.
Oh.
And then the person behind the stand sort of like reacts to that. It's like, oh, whoa. It's kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That is cool. That's a nice detail. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of brings it together a little more, and it's like you're actually, having a fight, and people around you recognize that. They're not just like going about their business and like just glazing over the fact that two weird superhero fire throwing superhuman people are like randomly fighting each other.
Yeah. That is a bit odd to see. I mean, you don't even see that in New York City every day.
To be fair, they're mostly okay with it, and they're like cheering it on, but they're at least a part of it,
right?
As well.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's like the dynamic environments are pretty cool. I admittedly did not notice that, but that's awesome. The details I noticed, details in fabric, the different color variants are pretty cool too, and different costumes. I know, like with subsequent, like Ultra Street Fighter 4 has like a million costumes that you could add on to the game, which adds some kind of personalization to the characters, and I know people are very proud of that. They're very proud of the characters that they use. So I feel like it through the presentation, Street Fighter 4 really gives players some sort of agency in the sense that they kind of own their characters from that aspect, like for the color swaps and the costumes and all that. So it's very cool. I do like the presentation in Street Fighter 4. It's one of its best aspects in my opinion. Gameplay wise, I know Lindsay, you talked about how the game is difficult, how it's kind of challenging from a gameplay perspective. Or no, your phrase was more of aggressive, right?
I mean, I always liked how Street Fighter is different from other games in that it's, technical in the move styles that the characters will use on one another.
Right. I feel like
they each have their different move styles. I can't remember what game it was, but there was some other game, not Street Fighter, where they could change styles, maybe Soul Calibur or something. But
yeah, that might be Soul Calibur. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I feel like getting off of that, I feel like that's what Street Fighter 4's big kind of disadvantages, especially for new players, is that it's really hard to get into it, especially if you just not very well versed in fighting games like me. I cannot get into this game. I cannot play this game competitively at all. I could maybe do a Hadouken if I jumble my fingers together in the right way, but seriously, I'm not good at this game, and it doesn't really have a lot of options to make it easier for newcomers, which is fine, if you're well versed in fighting games. But if you're not, then there's really not a lot of options here where you could really kind of develop a background in fighting games and use this as a jumping off point to develop, find more fighting games and get into the community, etc. So not a fan of the gameplay. I'd much rather prefer something like Dragon Ball Fighter Z or Blaze Blue, which is much more, the combos are a lot easier to master, a lot of easier shortcuts. Just generally they're mapped better for the controllers, so even if you use a controller and not a fight stick, you could kind of get by. Street Fighter 4, I feel like it's just impossible to get by without a fight stick. So Tim, do you share in these sentiments of mine? Because I know you're not big on fighting games either.
Yeah, I would probably share those sentiments. I'm curious, like how, what, how hard is it to pull off like a combo? And actually, how many combos can you do? Like, does each character have like a specific amount?
Like 15 or something. Something
That's a
around
lot.
there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess when you do compare that to like Smash Brothers, which is like you have like 4 things
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like 5 things or whatever you can do, and it's like 2 button presses like together at most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be accessible to everybody. Maybe it's okay that there's like sort of a, I don't know,
learning curve.
higher tier or whatever you want to call it, like for people who are really into that type of genre.
Yeah.
And if you're not into it, then maybe that's okay because we all like different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like personally, I am not into playing these fighting games. Like, at least not a lot or competitively or anything like that. Like, I'll play it with my friends, like grinding out a game together just for fun, like one day. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree
it's
with
not
you.
like Smash for me. Like Smash, I could play by myself with other people. I'm gonna enjoy it. So
Smash is like accessible by anyone, like even if you're some dude who doesn't even play video games ever, you could kind of get by if you just, if you go for the items and just use the items, it's fun. It's not really I guess that's why in fighting game communities it's like people don't really consider Smash like in the same category as games like Street Fighter, like because it's like you can kind of maybe it's a little bit like snotty or like like this is a real fighting game and this isn't. I'm not saying that. I'm not like trying to put a wedge between them. But what I am saying is that
such a wedge.
I know, right?
Always wedging.
I know.
My goodness.
Terrible. I'm so terrible.
Sorry, go on.
But like I'm like there is a learning curve and this is like just for fighting game. This Street Fighter 4 is made for fighting game fans and that's fine. Like it's more power to them. Like I totally want fighting game fans that play good games. So I'm not saying that Street Fighter 5 is a bad game because it's so its options are kind of limited to newcomers. But what I am saying is that I'm just trying to point it out that this is not the best game to, if you're looking into playing fighting games for the first time, this is not the best game to do that. That's all. I much rather go with, I think Street Fighter 5 is more accessible. I think I've compared the two and I'm not good in either, but I find Street Fighter 5 a little more easier to grasp than Street Fighter 4. Mario vs. Capcom slightly more, but that's also very complicated too. In other games like Arc System Works, their games are pretty accessible. So yeah, I'm very happy that they found the success that it did, and I'm very happy that it spawned kind of the competitive scene that it enjoys today. So, good job, Street Fighter 4. What do you guys think of the game's sound design? I know a lot of people love sound design in Street Fighter 4. Tim, what do you think of Street Fighter 4's sound design?
From what I saw, it seemed pretty good. Nice, like, smacking sound effects. And then,
smacking.
In terms of the... What's that?
Smacking.
Yeah, smacking.
That's a good, yes. That's a good verb.
You gotta get those down, because if it doesn't sound good, then it's like, well, why am I punching you? It just doesn't
It's true.
sound good.
That's very true.
Yes.
I want to feel like I'm grabbing you by the legs, throwing you up into space, and then pile driving you down into the ground.
That's right.
I need that.
You're very
realism.
right.
Like, if not, then what's the point?
Where's the satisfaction?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But then, of course, the soundtracks, they also sounded pretty dope as well. I like those. I didn't actually, I kind of assume it's in there, but is the Guile theme in there?
Yeah,
Because I didn't hear it, but yeah,
I believe so. Yeah.
iconic stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
they've got like, if you go to Ultra, they've got like everything, like they've got almost all the tracks in Street Fighter history, I think, in that one. So, yeah. I mean, it's a good like celebration, especially when you go like later on, like the later iterations of Street Fighter 4. Like, it's a great celebration of, they got like good throwback tunes. They've got new tunes for all the new characters in there. Like, what's the redhead's name? I forgot her name. But her tune is pretty good. Like the redhead with the mohawk. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I remember, but I don't know his name.
Yeah,
or her name, whoever it was.
I forgot her name, but
Yeah,
her theme is pretty dope. Chun-Li's theme is dope, of course.
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty good soundtrack overall, especially when you consider everything like the Ultra versions. Lindsay, what do you think of Street Fighter 4's soundtrack?
I mean, I didn't listen to much of the soundtrack, but the few tracks I did listen to, I really enjoyed. And I could tell that, I don't know if it was like newer versions of the songs or what, or if they were new songs or old songs. I don't know, but I was able to tell that it was at least paying tribute to the retro, arcade style that Street Fighter originally goes back to. You could hear that in the soundtrack, and it's the soundtrack's just something that you could really jam to. It's upbeat.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you get to like the more like urban themes, like the city theme. They've got some good ones in there. Yeah, I don't know the themes from the top of my head. I'm sorry, but yeah, they've got some good gems in there. I don't disagree with the sentiment that Street Fighter 4 soundtrack is really good, because I agree. What I listen to is pretty awesome. Lasting appeal, the last feature here. Is Street Fighter 4 worth playing today? Tim, start us off. Do you think it's worth playing today?
Probably don't have the best point of view, since I usually don't play these games. But I mean, even though I'm not really into it, I did enjoy some of the music I heard, and the presentation overall did seem pretty cool. Sure. Why not?
Very reluctant, sure.
I don't feel super
enthusiastic
passionate to play this, but that's just because this isn't my jam. But
Right.
That's just my point of view.
Lindsay, is this your jam? Would you play it? Would you play it right now? Like, drop everything and play Street Fighter 4?
I wouldn't drop everything and play it.
Okay, so
But
it's a no from Lindsay, I guess.
I would play it with friends. I would play it, like, is there a party that I'm at and people are playing it? Yeah, I'll play it,
If I were at a party, I'd rather play Smash than Street Fighter 4.
Maybe I wouldn't play this, but maybe I would get into an actual street fight
Oh my
Instead.
god.
Jeez, you're so violent today. I don't know what's going on there.
We're talking about Street Fighter, so
I know, before he was talking about smacking people around and
That's
I
what
don't
you
know,
do.
man.
That's
Yeah,
what
but
you
you
do
were
in
like,
Street
it's
Fighter.
very satisfying. You're like,
I want to feel
whoa.
good.
Yeah, I'm like, okay,
I did say
man.
that. I guess that's fair.
All right. I mean, I'm glad you're in Connecticut, and I'm glad there's some distance between us because,
Well, I don't know. It's
little.
not that far.
oh no,
You can come over.
oh no,
You never know.
gotta move to Queens.
Surprise violence.
Pile drive me, toss me in the air, smack me down again, smack me around. Is that what you're gonna do to me?
oh,
I
You
think
said
so.
it. I didn't.
I think so, Tim. I'm careful. I'm gonna be careful around you now.
oh shit.
As far as what I think about Street Fighter 4, I think it's okay. I guess. I mean, like, is it worth playing today? Eh. Like, if you're really into Street Fighter, and you're like, oh my god, and you wake up in the morning, and you wake up like, oh boy, it's 3 a.m. Time for Street Fighter. Like if you're that type of person, then sure, like go ahead play it. But like if you're a fighting game kind of guy, and you really want to be involved in the modern day competitive scene, then I mean, like I said, I said this earlier. Like there are still people who play Street Fighter 4 for sure, but I think people have moved on to either different games like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or like Street Fighter 5. So you might as well just devote yourself to one of those competitive scenes, or other games entirely, like Marvel vs. like not Marvel vs. Capcom, like Dragon Ball Fighter Z or what have you, or Soul Calibur. I don't feel like it's necessarily worth it to go back just because that scene has kind of died out. And maybe it's worth going back to just to experience, a Capcom that actually put characters into their games. But aside from that, like, I don't think it's something that you need to really drop everything and play right now. It's not something that's really pressing. Yeah. So that about wraps up our impressions of Street Fighter 4. 4, right? Street Fighter 4. I'm so confused. Thank you for joining us for this topic of the show. Join us next week as we discuss Metroid Zero Mission, which was also released in 2009 on February 9th. Originally released for Game Boy Advance. Who remembers playing that? I don't.
I do.
That was a long time ago. Man, I played this game too. It was just a while ago. Really
I never played this game, but I'm a big Game Boy Advance fan.
Game Boy Advance is pretty good. That was a pretty good system, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I lost mine, so then I got the SP. But then after I did that, I found the Advance.
Oh, really?
But then I think I sold it at a tag sale. Which I wish I hadn't done. But, oh well.
I never had the Advance, but I had the SP, and my first SP, I think I dropped that in a toilet or something.
No.
So it broke, but then I got another SP from a friend in high school because he had an extra, and I got Pokemon Emerald from another friend, and I was like, oh my god.
Time
This is the
sync.
best thing ever.
Yep. That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, you have good friends. Can I meet your friends? I want to meet your friends. That's cool.
Want some free games?
Yeah, let's be friends.
gotta get them GBA games, Yeah, no, that's. I'm really looking forward to next week. I don't think we've done a Game Boy Advance game so far, so it should be a good episode.
Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Yeah, we did that.
Oh shit!
How dare you?
Whoops! Forgot about
Damn.
that. Yeah, it's Pokemon, whatever.
Oh shit!
It's only our most viewed podcast episode. We're gonna get no
Shit
views.
talking Pokemon.
We're gonna get no
Like
episodes
Game
after
Freak
this.
and Nintendo are gonna come after us.
Oh yeah, they're gonna kill us. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, look. Anyway, still looking forward to it. I like Game Boy Advance, so cool. All right. So let's move on to what we're playing next week. What are you guys playing next week? Tim, what are you gonna play?
That's a good question. What is Tim going to play?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
That's right. You asked me. I repeated it. Definitely not stalling. I don't know. I haven't really been able to play too much. Just been working, but I might just do more Terraria.
That's cool.
And that's
Am I-
probably it.
That's cool.
Not too exciting.
That's cool. Keeping it cool with Terraria. Keeping it
Yep.
chill.
Yep.
I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know what I'm saying. Lindsay, what are you gonna play this upcoming week?
I'm still working on Pokemon Quest. I have like 4 more Pokemon to go. 4 legendaries. Fucking.
Oh, was that the game where you like cook Pokemon or something?
Yeah.
I
Yes.
feel like I remember that.
We cook Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm sure you really like that game, Lindsay. Do all people in Florida
I
eat
love
Pokemon?
eating my Pokemon.
Is that a Florida thing? Is that a Floridian thing?
Ugh.
I know you guys down there. You're a little, you know. You know, we got that. I think the whole country has something like against Florida. I don't know
I know,
why.
right?
I don't know why.
I mean,
like-
I'm not a Florida supporter, even though I live here. It's against my will, I swear.
I'm not gonna make fun of Florida. You guys get too much negativity going your way. That's not right. That's not right. You guys got Disney World down there. That's not right. You know, you guys.
Exactly.
You guys.
I mean, in
That's good
relation to Pokemon and Florida, we had the whole clown scare during the Pokemon Go craze. Like, parents paid clowns to scare children when they were playing Pokemon Go outside.
That's terrible.
And that is only in Florida, people.
Oh my god. Wow.
That's one way to parent your kids.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But as for the rest of the things I'm playing this week, I'm gonna play some Smash with my brothers. We're gonna try to get my sister-in-law to play the game, but it probably won't work. She's not much of a gamer, and my brother always tries to convince her, but most of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah.
She feels embarrassed by playing video games because she's not good because she doesn't play them. So you know what do you expect?
Yeah.
But, we're gonna play Smash, and then tomorrow I'm gonna speedrun Super Monkey Ball 2 because I just
hell yeah.
speedran it yesterday. I love the game.
That's my jam.
Hell
I
yeah!
love Super Monkey Ball, man. Shit. I love like I love the original one where you're like I love the multiplayer mode when you're like you're on the platform and you're like gotta punch people off you gotta punch the monkeys off the platform.
Yeah, was that the
Wow.
racing one?
That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
That was really good. I like that one. That was I used to play that a
Super Monkey
lot.
Ball is just so much fucking fun. It's such a niche game.
Oh yeah, totally. I remember so this is a funny story. I don't know if I should be sharing, but whatever, I'll do it anyway. So I brought like my GameCube over to like my friend's house once, and I had Super Monkey Ball in there, and we were playing it, right? And like we were gonna play like the 4-player, I think, racing mode or whatever, and like there's like a girl character in there. I think her name is like Mimi or something, right?
Yeah, it's Mimi.
Oh man, how do I remember that? That's weird. But anyway, like so Mimi, like when you would pick Mimi, she'd like shake her ass. Do you notice that? When you pick her, like she shakes her ass, and like it was really weird because we were like, why is this monkey shaking her ass for us? And it was like almost like pornographic, and we were like, we were like 13-year-old boys back then, and we were like, we'd find fun in anything. So I guess it was more fun back then. But like, it was just this weird like thing that
made it more fun.
Yeah, like being young and like seeing a monkey shake its ass. It's just a funny thing when you're young.
Is that your thing?
I don't know.
That's the kind of thing that teenage boys like. Yeah,
they get off on. Yeah,
shaking their asses.
Sure. Yeah.
Posters of monkeys.
Yeah.
Monkeys.
Suffice to say, the manual was very sticky when I came back home.
Oh God.
Oh
no. But no, like it was weird, and we loved playing that game because we just like selecting the character and seeing it shake its ass, and it was, I don't know, it was a thrill.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's move on anyway. What I'll be playing, I definitely
Super Monkey Ball.
I really got a thing for Super Monkey Ball now. No. What will I be playing? I don't know. I got to make something up. I don't know.
Half-Life 3.
Yeah, Half-Life 3.
Gabe gave me some Half-Life 3 the other day, and don't spoil it or anything, but I know what happens in the end. I'll be playing. I was gonna play on my 3DS. I was gonna play, I think, the Mega Man games that they got on there. The Mega Man collection, Legacy collection was. I think so. Which the original 6 games, I want to say. And I had that on my 3DS for a while. I never played it. So actually I did play it, but very briefly. I did not complete all the games. So I was thinking about going back and playing those games. So yeah, hopefully I could beat them. I probably won't, because they suck. But whatever. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
Right.
All right, so I guess that wraps up this episode of the Time Hop Podcast. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm your host, Dave Lozada. You can find me at XenoCreator125 over on Twitter. Lindsay's here. You can find her on Twitter at InfanRedYoshi. Tim is here, writing articles on King Gamer, making the site beautiful, as he usually does. Thank you for joining us again this week, everyone. Join us next week as we play Metroid Zero Mission. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
I really fucked this one up.